let me tell you what happened. Last night I was in the kitchen with my kids. I was telling my son how proud of him I was. I said, son, I'm so proud of you because, you just continue to excel. No matter where God places you, you just continue to excel in life. You are the epitome of what can happen in life to people who may not excel so well in school, but God just opens doors of opportunities to them, after the fact. And so he looks at me, he was like, Mama, you're right. You're right. I'm real thankful. I'm real happy. He just began to talk about, how many things he had gone through and had endured and where he was. And I'm just like, okay, son. So I sat back in my chair and I felt something rising up on the inside of me. And at the moment, I didn't know what it was. And so I sat back in my chair, I crossed my leg. I looked at my son and I said, well, you have to have a good teacher, a good guide, a good mentor. And he looked at me softly and he smiled so sweetly. And he pointed his hand towards the sky. Well, I didn't want to assume that I understood what he was talking about. I had to wait to make sure that that's what he was saying. And he said, no, Mama, it wasn't you. It was God. And I took a deep swallow because he wasn't lying. So I was like, yeah, son, you're absolutely right. I left the house, and as I left the house on my way to church because his mother needed some prayer, on my way to church, the Lord reminded me and said to me, the reason why you were able to teach him and guide him was because I provided you with the revelation. And I said, Lord, you are absolutely right. Then, in that very moment, I was reminded, we are never deserving of glory. We are never deserving of patting ourselves on the back. My son didn't get to where he was because his mama did something. His mama sat in prayer and she listened. And the Lord provided revelation to help guide my son along the journey. And I was trying to take all the credit for that. I was out of order. How often do we do that? How often do we want the praise? Do we want the credit? Do we want the pat on our back for the things and accolades that people around us have received, whether we were attached to it or not? We out of order. When we do things, we are to do it for the glory of God. And if we're doing things because we want praise or we want a pat on the back or we're waiting for the accolades, we out of order. It's time for us to adjust our way of thinking and our way of speaking. To God be the glory. I'm Rachel Renee, the Equipper. Be blessed.